who are the DGS and why we do why I can't fucking
Do out of print games matter?
yes. All right, Kyle, I'll let you start this one because you know a
Yes.
lot.
Okay. So, man. So, the DGS basically is a national gaming group. How many members? Gosh, who knows at this point? Not a ton, but you, myself, and Chad Parrish.
Oh, yes, I miss him already.
You
He's
miss him
been
already. He's
gone.
still alive. He is still alive.
What?
I think he'll come on the show. But yeah. So
Wait, hold on, stop. He's still alive? I didn't
he
heard
is.
from him. Oh, okay. Well, you learn something new every day.
But anyway, so us three basically started the DGS. Right? It was back in what 2008 there, Michael.
2008 at Gen Con.
Yeah. And what was the original idea behind that? I mean, refresh my memory.
Well, what happened was is the Sunday, and this was actually my very, very first Gen Con. So I was looking forward to playing like all these out of print games because my memory of it, is all like AD&D and Second Edition, all this other stuff. And we get there, and there was very few first edition games or Star Frontiers or Boot Hill or any of those games that I was really, really wanting to check out. Even if I wasn't going to play them, I wanted to watch people play and figure it out. So it was that Sunday, and we were at the dealer hall because we were just getting ready to leave. And I was just like, when we start talking about the old games and stuff, it's like, why don't they run these anymore? Because I think at the time it was, pardon me, it was all 3.5. And getting ready to go, I think in fourth edition was right around the corner. And that's when it just came. It's like, well, why don't we just start our own gaming group that all we do is play out of print games. If it's out of print, no longer supported by the original developers and makers, that we would just, that was our shtick. And I was just like, well, we'll call it like the Dead Gamers Society. But this is right around where Mr. Gygax had passed. And then we thought, well, how about the Dead Games Society, which is actually, I think, a better title for it because we were playing out of print games. So, and that's where it was. And we drove home all excited, and then we started it. That's
Yeah.
where it began.
And so, like, people ask it, well, what's a dead game? I mean, we have a pretty loose definition, really. It's basically a game that it is no longer in print, or it's no longer supported, or in some cases, it's an edition or a version, right, that is no longer officially supported by a company.
Right. For example, how
Mhm.
about an example? What would you give me an example of? Maybe a Call of Cthulhu or even AD&D.
Well,
So
like, I mean, obviously, AD&D would be a dead game, right? It's yes, you can maybe get some print on demand stuff from WotC or whatever, from the DMs Guild or something like that, but it's no longer a game that they're producing content for, right? It's no
right.
longer technically a supported game, right? There's no involvement really by Wizards of the Coast or Hasbro into supporting it. So, and obviously basic D&D, would be another example. The back me sets and any of that stuff. And I mean, it's self-explanatory. I mean, other games that would be even more like, I would say, dead would be from like companies that no longer even exist, right? Like
Sure.
Setter. If you're playing like Chill or Man, Myth, and Magic, was that the name of Man, Myth, and Magic?
It
I
was
think
probably
that's
something like that.
yes,
Well,
or something. I mean, like it's really obscure stuff, right? That's really dead.
yeah. Well, on the Facebook page, we have a Facebook fans of the Dead Game Society or DGS, and that this question is asked all the time because it can get a little sticky. For example, like Call of Cthulhu, they're on their 7th edition,
Correct.
but it's all the other editions are very similar to, and so there was never like any big sweeping changes like what they did from D&D 2.0 to 3.0 and 3.5. Those are just huge changes. But I still consider Call of Cthulhu 6.0 and below would be a out of print game, a dead game, as long as the company who made it is the one that is still producing for that particular edition. And well, and this gets a little sticky too, because now with D&D, Dungeons and Dragons 5.0 is going into 5.2. However, and I've looked this up because I'm like, is 5.0 going to be a dead game? Then it moves into our category that people are now allowed to play it. See, we have about 6,500 members, and they're not allowed to play any current game, or they get excommunicated, and they get a phone call personally from me to yell at them, which isn't very pleasant. Trust me, you can hear my speaking voice. It's not very nice. But anyway, great. Now I lost my chain of thought. It sucks I'm almost 40, and it's kind of like, your brain starts going a little bit.
Well, that actually brings up another question. It's like, when, this is backtracking a little bit, but when did we first start gaming? Like, what are our like credentials here? Like,
well, I have a very rocky history with gaming, and it's personal. And
was there abuse involved?
well, there was some, but no. Well, like for me, the first time I ever heard about it, I was in high school, and some guy was, I think I was a sophomore. I don't even know what year that was. Probably like 1982, 92, 6. No, it was 2007 when I was in high school. But anyway, so he was drawing these dungeons and things like that, in the graph paper. And I asked him what that is, and he says, "Oh, it's Dungeons and Dragons." I'm like, "Oh, really? Oh, that's neat." So that's the first time I heard about it. And then in '85, I bought all the books because I was ready to play, because I was trying to figure out myself, and so I joined the game. And I sat there for 6 hours waiting to get into the game, because they were on some campaign and they couldn't bring me into the game like instantly, like it can't be done for some reason. So I sat there for 6 hours, and then they're like, "Okay, and then down the road you meet this guy," and I'm like, "Yeah, I gotta go." It's like, I gotta go. And I'll be brief. And then the next time, I was married to my first wife, and we started on second edition, and then we played that pretty heavily. Anyway, that's a long story, but up now yours.
Oh yeah,
All right, now back to me.
Started playing.
So let me just no, I'm not finished yet.
Okay.
No one cares about you.
Okay.
Sorry.
I started playing, I think, in 1980. So yeah, I'm getting old. But and I remember just went over to my friend's house, and he had this game, and he's like, it's really cool. It's D&D. And I even remember the first adventure I got put through, and I had no idea what I was doing. It was Steeding of the Hill Giant Chief. It's from the Giant series.
Okay, yeah.
Shortly after that, I think it was that Christmas, my mother bought me the Holmes set, like the one with like the blue dragon, or they had like the blue and red cover, the dragon, and everything on the, I think it's with Sutherland did the art. So she got me that, and that was very simple and relatively easy to understand. I kind of digested and figured out, and I had another buddy who played the game, and then in the early 80s, I started playing on a pretty regular basis. And it was funny because like years later, I don't know, like maybe the late 80s or something, a satanic panic happened, and my mother all freaked out, and she's like, "What are you doing playing this game?" and all this sort of. She sort of gave me like a hard time, and I'm like, "Mom, you bought me the game." Right. But
yeah,
anyway.
It's like when my mom bought me my first meth kit,
Yeah.
and then she blames me.
But yeah, so I played like in high school. I lived in Europe, and when I was in high school, and I played there. And, yeah, I remember we were translating the game into German.
Oh yeah,
because I lived in Frankfurt, and then it got to be such a chore for my German friends that they just learned enough English so they could read the game in the original, so we could just play it. So it's almost like,
oh, gotcha, yeah.
TSR was teaching German kids English. It was pretty funny, but anyway,
well, it's a good skill to have. It's a good skill to have. I'm hoping your mic wasn't bleeding into mine. I forgot to set my microphone down a little bit.
Oh, I couldn't, but I think we're okay. But
we're not starting over.
Yeah, I know.
So if that happens, just put up with. I hopefully I fixed it. We'll
But
see.
yeah, but anyway, going back to the whole thing with Gen Con 2008 and all that, it's like, we had remembered the way the game was played. It was very, very imaginative. It was very kind of free flowing. Um, somewhat rules were kind of make it up as you go along, a little bit arbitrary, kind of DM's discretion, whatever. You know, in back then in the late, 2007, 2008 and everything, 3.5 was the big thing.
Sure. Oh yeah, I love 3.5.
Yeah, the
Really
game
did.
had moved to a very miniatures wargaming type
True.
feel, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. It just didn't feel like the old gaming that I really wanted to play. And I remember talking to you about it. I'm like, oh, let's bring all these old games next Gen Con. Let's bring them all there. Let's get a bunch of people. Let's play. And we did. And
Oh, I didn't. I didn't. My first Gen Con game was in 2010. For some reason, well, like I said,
yeah,
that I ran. No, we went there, of course. You and I and Chad, God rest his soul, didn't for some reason. So, I mean, I miss Chad a lot. I mean, so
he's
young.
alive. Yeah, but
Wait,
but yeah,
he's alive?
Yeah, he is alive.
Wow.
But some of the first games that we play, I think the first game I played for the DGS was a BECME, like an epic 6-hour BECME,
That
basic D&D game, with these big castle maps. And even back then, I used like the mass battle system and everything. I
sure.
really wanted to get back into it, and that was fun. And then I think we played Star Trek.
Yeah, see, I do remember playing Star Trek at Gary Con 3 because I still have the program, so I know it, for
Right.
sure. I mean, that is, a fact.
Right,
because
right.
I have proof.
But one thing we started doing, which I'm going to ask you more about, is
There we are, Colin.
there it was.
There
And
was. Oh, look
that
how
would have been where and
that
when
was.
was that?
That was Gary Con 2000 and I think 12 or 11 or 12. That was Gary Con 3.
Okay,
That
so
we
that
that we had that game.
2011, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
that's
Yeah, I
2011.
mean, I had the program right over here. So,
Yeah, it's
but
back
oh
when
god,
my hair turned gray.
look how young we were. And no, I was turning gray back then. I was like what 24 at the time.
But that was
So
fun. It
yeah,
was the FASA Star Trek game.
yeah, that was fun.
And that was good. And then, unfortunately, in that picture, we don't have the guy with the ears.
Oh, I know. That
Remember
guy
that
was great.
we brought the Spock ears, and he had to wear them. And I remember like he totally didn't want to wear them, and you had to hold him down.
Yeah, I know. I felt bad about it, but listen, I weighed about like I was what at the time 15, so I weighed about like 97 pounds. So it's not my fault he couldn't throw me off of him. Not my problem. Just saying. And this is before modern times where back then you can get away with that type of assault. Not anymore. Everything's filmed. It's crazy. It's really cut down on my dating.
There might be some pictures somewhere, I don't know, but
Probably.
the other memory too, which was fun from at least Gary Con, is I think the first year I went there, I played or I ran Buck Rogers, the TSR
Oh, yeah.
Buck Rogers, and I ran it for Flint Dilley.
Yeah, that was great.
The Dilley family who owns like the
That's a fun
IP
game.
Buck Rogers thing. And that guy was totally cool. He was really funny. And we had just had the best time playing Buck Rogers. That was awesome.
I know, but the problem was he did charge us for using his IP. It's like $100. We weren't expecting that, but it was still fun. Yeah, the very first DGS games I ran was 2010 at GaryCon, and I ran a Star Frontiers, and then I ran my very first costumed adventure. I dressed up as Tony Stark. So, and that was fun. So that's really what got the ball rolling on this kind of dressing up for conventions and everything like that.
Do you have the Tony Stark picture anywhere?
Yeah, probably. Let me see.
If you have it handy, I don't know. Otherwise, we can talk about the power rings of gaming.
Okay, hold on, wait. I just found it, so
Oh, did
I'll
you?
just pop it up real quick.
Oh, okay.
I mean, everyone is just dying to see it.
Oh,
But
no.
anyway,
Not the naked one.
no, not
Okay.
that one. Hold on, it won't let me put it up there for some reason. Oh, there it is. I'm just learning this program. I'm just learning this program, so I don't know. Yeah, I was going with the comic book style where he used to actually have to wear his chest and everything like that. So
That's right. I think that was real whiskey too.
actually, I was not drinking then. I was sober as a judge. That is tea.
Oh,
I mean, no, it was real booze, and unfortunately, well, actually, fortunately, I wasn't drinking back then. So
okay.
I
But
probably
the other
added some
thing that,
liquor.
yeah, the other thing that we did is in addition to the costumes and all the craziness, you developed the power ring of gaming. So I
Yeah, that was on. Yeah, that we came up with that on the way back because I thought, well, this is going to be some type of like special club. You need like secret decoder rings. And then all the members would have one, and that's how we would know each other and blah blah blah. And yeah, I started sketching it up, and I went home, and then I made. Well, here's one right here. This is the DM ring that has the dice in it. But yeah, so that's where it began. So
that
there
was
it
a long
is.
time ago. Yeah,
Yeah, I
those
was like,
are early prototypes.
yeah, those are the very first designs, and then we went on to doing a little bit more. Uh, what I wanted to do is each game would have a specialty ring, like Marvel superheroes, Iron Man, but all shaped like Vincent, our skeleton mascot. We got Princess Leia there, and all that fun stuff. So that was the power rings of gaming. Now, Chad, there's Indiana Jones, Bowie, all that fun stuff.
Bowie ring, dude. I
That's
don't
a
even
good
think
ring.
I have a Bowie ring.
No, you should because you played in my Bowie game.
Oh, maybe I do. I'll have to look. But yeah, that is a hot item there.
Yeah,
That's
it's
rare.
probably where your DM ring that you're wearing now. Maybe it's next to that. Because you're part of the club. I see you are hiding your hands.
Know where my ring is. I gotta find it. But I do. It's somewhere. I have like 2 or 3 of them. But
Yeah. Well,
I'll
I
bring
mean, Chad used to give those rings away, and like his DM ring. And the first time he told me, it's like I almost refused to make him another one. I'm like, that is your ring. You don't give it away. It's like, oh, it was a little girl. I was like, I don't give it. It's your ring. I was kidding with him. Of course, I did make him several more because he keeps on losing. But anyway. So yeah, those are. So if you happen to find yourself in one of our games, you'll be getting a power ring of gaming.
Yeah. And you'll know it's one of our games because it says in the program, it says DGS Presents.
Right.
And it's likely going to be something obscure, right? I mean, now it might be an AD&D game or something, relatively well known, but I mean, I've played things like World of Necroscope, World of Indiana Jones, like really like Hercules and Xena, like stuff that's really off the beaten track. And I picked up the game somewhere. It looked cool. I've always wanted to run it, so I run under the DGS, and then maybe a costume's involved. Maybe there's some props. Maybe there's some crazy maps and swag and who knows. But that's kind of our forte is to play things that nobody else is playing. Really, that you're only going to see run by us at any given convention. And then, Michael, what are some of the obscure games you play generally?
Well, unlike you, who is smart and intelligent, I play. I mostly stick to, for some reason, D20 Cthulhu, Marvel Superheroes
Obscure.
No Frontiers. What's that?
Which is obscure. Like nobody plays D20 Cthulhu.
Well, dude, I have like 6 copies of these on my shelf. Hold on, let me get them.
Yeah, I mean,
Do you need a?
Oh, a copy of it? I think I do have a copy somewhere. Oh my god.
Like 6 of these.
One for each player.
Well, that was the plan. Every let me put those down. Every book, player's handbook, I always have at least 4 each of. Like first edition, got 4 books here for everyone.
Oh,
So
nice.
I did that for all of them.
Are those reprints or are those originals?
Oh, those are all original. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I do have a set of reprints. You know, the ones that they did, and that's the brown cover ones. These.
Right, yeah.
And I'm not buying 4 of these. These are just to buy to have for the collection. All right, they're done. And I got all my 4th edition here. Now, I do them in order of edition, so that's why you see 4th behind me. I just bought it to add it to the library. So,
yeah. But you also play like Marvel superheroes a lot.
Oh yes, Marvel superheroes
TSR.
and TSR. I'm going to be doing a Boot Hill adventure that I wrote. Once I get back to the conventions and things like that. It was like I mostly, except for the D20 Cthulhu, mostly like the TS, like Star Frontiers and Marvel superheroes and things like that. I would like to do a Indiana Jones, the TSR version of it, just for fun. Yeah, I know you played the idea.
It's true. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure
it's not good.
Oh, I know, but I don't care. Is it for me? And you know how I am.
But it's
like,
hilarious. I mean, it's.
I like the kitsch value of it. For me is what really counts. But yeah.
Wait,
so
you know what I ran one year, which was it's a terrible game, but it was just hilarious. This is a long time ago. Was the He-Man?
Oh yes.
Remember Phasma came out. The He-Man. I have the box set. It's like a mint condition with the Castle Greyhawk and everything. I think I played that at like I don't know Nexus Game Fair or something, or maybe
I
like
remember when you ran it.
I can't remember where I played it.
People were geared for that because no one plays it, and some people didn't maybe even hear about it. But they you put in He-Man and people are going to come running.
Oh yeah, no, it was fun. It was a good time, but yeah. What are some of the other things that we've done? I don't know if we have pictures or something, or what about the Kiss game?
Well, then I guess that's our next topic.
Oh, is that the cue? Oh, here we go. EGS games, conventions, and other shenanigans.
Well, where do you want to start?
Okay, so I mean, we run a ton of games. I mean, so I'll start with some of the ones that I play. I mean, obviously, I do a lot of Cthulhu. I have games like Reactor 4, which actually Chad wrote originally, but I kind of expanded upon, which is the Chernobyl adventure where I break out the full. It's like the size of a table. It's like a real map of actual Chernobyl, like nuclear plant.
Right. You ran that game in his memory, I recall. So I thought that was really nice of you to do.
Yeah.
Kind of like a memorial.
Yeah, memorial adventure. But
that's very nice of you.
Some of the other ones I do, one fun one. Oh, there you go. Reactor 4. Yeah, that's at Con on the Cob.
Yeah. Oh, what the best thing about this picture is in the background is me.
Some guys dressed up like Gene Simmons. I wonder who that is.
That's the best thing about this picture. Oh, you're okay too, Colin.
But yeah, so I run that one. I run I have a series of Nancy Drew Call of Cthulhu adventures. I run those.
Those are great.
I have my Warriors Marvel superheroes adventure where I come dressed like Swan, with the Warriors jacket and everything. And the Warriors actually go looking for their compatriot Fox, who in the movie fell onto the tracks and supposedly was killed, but actually he was in reality he was basically kidnapped by the Morlocks. So the Warriors got to go down and confront the Morlocks and save their buddy, and they had to fight Callisto. So that one's fun. Again, I run Necroscope. I run a lot of D&D. So I mean, it's a lot of fun stuff. And what about some of the games you play? I'm not going to go through all mine. I got like 100 of them, but
Oh yeah, no, well, you know me. I love making costumes and all that stuff and playing kind of like 70s themed adventures like Nightmare on Sesame Street.
there you go.
So there we are playing it, and then I made a Muppet. So now the Muppet plays instead of me. So and things like that. I do Kiss. I run 2 Kiss adventures that are a lot of fun. I should probably have some pictures of those somewhere on here.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
Kiss Battle at the Budokan, right? There we go.
Yeah. The first, that's the second one I wrote. One day I'm going to do like a double platinum. Both adventures that I do. The first one's called Kissastrophe, and then the second one is Battle of Budokan. So
right.
It's a Japanese inspired one. So I went ahead and redid the costume a little bit to be, if I can find it, there it is.
Oh, there you go.
In the full robes.
Custom minis.
Well, yeah, I bought these giant action figures because they have to fight Godzilla and everything like that. But yeah, I did take some Marvel superhero minis, like the plastic ones, and redid them so that they look like Kiss. One day I'm going to pay someone to make these miniatures for me. And this is how the adventure opens.
Like I already freaks out in the background. I remember
he's all talking. He's like, he's all, and all of a sudden I think those things like, I feel bad about that. I don't expect people will be startled by loud noises. That's just me. And plus I'm old and I don't give a care anymore, basically.
Yeah. So what about, like conventions that we go to? That would be like, we go to what, Con on the Cob, Origins, Cassium Con, Gary Con, and then
we used to go to Gary Con until some of us got banned from that.
No, and nobody's banned. We used to go to Nexus. I don't think they do Nexus anymore though. And then we do
Nexus is gone.
And then Little Wars. Yeah, I mean there's a whole bunch, mostly in the Midwest. Oh, there's the Bowie game. That's is the Thin White Duke.
That's you, is the Thin White Duke. That's a fun game. I had a lot of fun writing that and performing in it. But though we do have one game that might be, well, we probably get banned for running it now. You know which game I'm talking about, right?
Crown of Thorns.
I have the beard now and the long hair.
You have to save that stuff for later, though. No, you can't reveal that stuff now. We'll talk about the crazy games later. But
talking about.
Oh yeah, no, not that. Well, that one's a surprise. Oh, this one.
That's the one.
I thought you were talking about a different one.
No, I know. We'll
talk about later, but
yeah. So this is the one that we probably can't run anymore. I don't know why, but
yeah. This was the Rocky Horror LARP.
Yeah,
and it was. I mean, there was nudity. It was totally insane.
There was. And some bondage.
I mean, it was just, and I look like a total creep back there. Look at that.
Oh, you are a total creep. I love it.
I look like a complete pervert. I'm just looking on. I'm like,
And hold on, I got one of Chad May. God rest his soul. There's Chad. There's
the mythical Chad. There he is. Dressed up as Eddie, right?
Yeah, he's dressed up as Eddie. And I do have one picture. I think I only have one safe picture to show the striptease that my then girlfriend did.
I'm sure he has some unsafe ones too.
This is the safest one I have of her actually doing the thing.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so it got a little crazy.
It got a little way.
Nudity and bondage and all that fun stuff, and it was a blast to run,
So
write and run.
there were like 30 or 40 people in the room, and everybody bought booze, and we had booze, and we had like a bar set up, and it was complete mayhem till like 2 in the morning. And there was this big whiteboard because it was like a conference room. So there for like, business people. So there was like a massive whiteboard. And one of the guys there was like an artist, like a RPG artist. So he started like basically drawing all these completely obscene pictures with like demons like ravaging women and stuff. And it was just really crazy stuff, right? And the next day, I remember waking up, at like, I don't know, 8, 9 a.m. or whatever. I roll out of bed, all hungover and everything. And I'm like, oh my God, what happened to the room, right, that we were in? Because I left before everything was done, right? I mean, Kyla was still there, like everybody's going crazy.
I was still there. Yeah.
And I went down into that room and I opened it up and it was like destroyed, right? It was like Animal House. Like it was just complete like mayhem. There's just like, you
Well,
know,
we
half empty booze bottles like leaking on the floor, like, stuff all over the walls. I mean, total mayhem. And then like the maid from the hotel comes in there and she just like looks at the room and she's like about to cry and she looks at me and then she looks up at that whiteboard with like the demons like women. I mean, like I cannot believe we weren't banned for life from this place. And I
yeah.
like running upstairs and getting Kyle out of bed and we're like, we got to clean this place. So we like rented like a Stanley steamer and like got like 1,000 hefty bags. And we spent like 3 hours cleaning this room. Otherwise,
Oh yeah.
the
Oh, it
convention
is a mess.
would have got in trouble. It would have been bad. It was just total mayhem. So, but it was fun. It was worth it.
Oh, absolutely. Um, though I don't know, I could probably run the game again, but I need, say the ensemble. I'll need because I had a lot of people. Well, of course, you include in Chad and Kyla and Vicky and all those guys. Dressing up and doing it and keeping everything, keeping the booze flowing and all this other stuff. So yeah, that's a great game. That will be coming out in PDF form as soon as I get it when I write, compared to what actually needs to be in a module is a completely different thing. Like my Sesame Street game is like 3 pages. And it's all plot points because I want to make sure that we finish the adventure in 3.5 to 4 hours, but leave enough room for the players can explore and do other things, but and keep them on track to get to the end.
Right.
So,
well,
but I have to do a lot more writing to get up to speed.
That actually nicely segues into what I was going to talk about. It's like, well, what are we going to do in the future, and what are we going to do in this podcast? Well, so we're not just going to be yucking it up like we are now. We actually do have an agenda.
Wait, what?
Oh, well, that too, but
maybe you have an agenda. Me, I'm just too,
I have a hidden agenda, but so I am going to, well, we are going to, formally write up a lot of these adventures. That's a good one. We're going to talk about that the next episode, right?
Right. But this is the very first one.
Yeah, that's the first one. So what I'm basically doing, or what we're doing, is getting these things in actual module form, so people can run them and have fun, and not just the games we play in conventions. We're also going to be writing like long, like full on campaign stuff. Obviously, that right there, Nightmare on Sesame Street, that's a convention game.
Yeah.
Right. And that'll be coming out soon.
Yeah. All my adventures will be, based on the games, of course, I'm running, and it'll be completely convention style, basically on the rails, because you need to get to point A to point Z in 4 hours, 3.5 to 4 hours, no screwing around. So, but the charm of it is that it's just fun. You just want to have a good, fun time doing this.
Oh yeah.
And and be prepared.
Yeah. So one of the things that we're going to do is, which we're going to see in the next episode of this, which will be a lot more formal, but is, we're going to talk about and maybe review or discuss some older, dead gaming materials that really inspired us and moved us. And then we're going to create things that tie into those settings or those systems, and give the DM or the GM the ability to expand on that stuff. So, for instance, like a Marvel Superheroes adventure, right, which is what we're seeing right here, right? And you can tell it's Marvel Superhero because down at the bottom, that little icon where it says DGS Presents is Iron Man, right? So this is a good example. I have some for D&D, which we'll talk about. Necroscope, Call of Cthulhu, whatever. So it gives our fans or whatever, our people that like to hang out with us, the ability to run these games and have fun with them. So this is the LARP right here. L1
coming soon. It's a kinky adventure. But yeah, and with what Colin's saying, what I like to do is to maybe start putting together a, say, DM package where it comes with the module. It'll come with rings. It'll come with, if there's playing pieces for it, say like with my Sesame Street game, it would come with, I sculpted cultists and things for it and deep ones. So that would be part of the set. So it'd be something like you can just get and be able to run the game, and it's all ready to go. The character sheets are already printed up, ready to go, and things like that. Plus, we're going to have a T-shirt line using a lot of the Vincent characters that we've created for the different gamings, like the Vincent Iron Man or the Vincent Princess Leia or Vincent Spock, things like that. So we're just really wanting to get, Colin's retired. I'm pretty much retired, and it's just like we just want to get back into it and put all of our energy into the DGS. It's very important to us, and it has been for it's almost 20, 16 years so far. So in 2028, it's going to be 20 years of doing this.
Yeah.
And it just seems like yesterday we started.
Yeah. So, I mean, in the YouTube shows going forward, I mean, expect that, which is just talking about with original content. Also expect, reviews of existing content. Now, this will be older systems, dead games, right? We're not going to be reviewing anything from 5e or WotC or anything like that, right? Not the purpose.
Well, yes and no.
Unless it's industry news. If it's,
we may have some episode complaining about it.
Yeah, I might poke some fun at
them in a little bit. And stuff like that.
Might do that, but that's just industry news stuff. We'll talk a little bit about that too. But
yeah, we'll definitely have some Delusions of the Coast. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and there'll be specifically Delusions of the Coast about the future of what 5.2 is coming out, which will probably be the only Wizards or TSR player's handbook, monster manual, and the DM that I will not buy. I got 5.0. I bought one of each, just to have them, but I won't do 5.2. Now, if it was 6.0, fine. But yeah, not doing it, not with all the craziness that's happening there. It's ridiculous. And
the old games, OSR, right?
I'm an old man. I get hoarse because I'm telling the kids get off my lawn. But yeah, it's just one of those deals. Yeah, I'm trying to think there was something else.
I'm not sure. I mean, we're like 40 minutes in. We should probably, maybe say goodbye to our audience until the next episode, because we got other things to discuss.
Do we? We'll find out, won't we? All right. Well,
I apologize. Like Windows 95 there, Michael.
I know. It's like,
sure you're okay?
No, I'm not. It's just like too much crack cocaine, man, back in the day. So. I didn't take it, of course, but right. Anyway, yeah, no, this is great. I apologize for this is the first time we're doing this. We're very rusty at it, so we'll get better. Yeah, hey, Whitey, do better.
We all need to do better, Michael.
Yes, we do.
So, cool. So, okay, man.
All right. Well, until next time. Yeah. Oh, well, Colin, you're my best friend.
Yeah. So.
I mean, if someone's going to leave us, better Chad than you. I mean, I'll miss him forever. Oh, we need to have a memorial broadcast for him. I think that would be in his honor. What do you think?
I mean, he could be part of it.
Wait, dude, I'm not digging him up. Are you like some reanimator stuff you're talking about?
Yeah, well,
What are you suggesting?
Ultimately, he'll join the show. We'll see.
Somehow,
one way or another. But
okay, good. All righty. Well, I'm going to say goodbye to everyone. Hopefully, everyone enjoyed it. Hopefully, it was good for you as it was for me.
All right.
All right. Good night until the next time.
Here we go. Can you see that? Oh, there he is.
Hey,
Good night.
Chad. Hey, Chad.
There he is.
You.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Talk to you later.
All right. I'll see you.
Well, I'm can't end it. Hold on. All right. I'm done. It's over.